Hey guys, welcome back to Homesteading Off the Grid and another morning ramble and another Ornaments of Inspiration dedication. Looks like we're about less than 3 weeks away from Christmas. We put up about 67 more crayons here and down in the field since I spoke to you last. Guys, I'm going to talk to you about something today that is not very pleasant. Some of you have said in the comment sections that you no longer feel uplifted by these talks. If you're part of that crowd, you need to stop watching right now. But I feel led to talk about this because of far more than one of the people who left comments last night for whom crayons went up this morning. And I'm not going to mention names, but you know who you are. One of the ways you'll know who you are is that you don't see your comment posted on the channel. Your comments were held up for review because they were so graphic, the details in which you told your stories of your tragedies, and I read them. You didn't use foul language, that wasn't the problem, but I'm assuming YouTube probably held that up for review for this reason, and this is why I didn't approve those comments for this reason. A lot of you are new to the channel, and there are a lot of our subscribers on here who have been through very similar traumas, almost to the exact same thing. And a lot of these folks, and folks everywhere, even people that don't comment, that I watch that I don't even know are watching, have been through some sort of healing or recovery process to get over this trauma. And reading the graphic details of such trauma can often set them back in their recovery. So that's why those comments aren't seeing the light of day. You're not being nasty. You're being supportive of what we're doing, and we're being supportive of you. You've gotten your crayons, and this talk today is 100% inspired by some of these stories. During this discussion, I'm going to ask you to take a very simple DNA test. It doesn't require a blood sample, a tissue sample, or even a strand of your hair. It's simply going to require you to give me an honest, one-worded answer, either a yes or a no. We've all heard the story of the ugly duckling. I mean, we've heard that since we were preschoolers. The story that no one's heard is the story of the bottom-feeding eagle. Crazy Lake's at it again. What's the story of the bottom-feeding eagle? Well, you know, we remember in the story of the ugly duckling, the little baby bird thought it was ugly because it was different. It was just different. And ducks are beautiful too. But the birds grew up, and it came to everyone's knowledge at that time that the bird that was different wasn't ugly at all. It was a beautiful swan. It had just been somehow the mother ended up putting the egg in the wrong nest. And guys, sometimes eagles' eggs will end up in the nests of vultures. All animals are beautiful. All animals serve a purpose. This isn't a knock on vultures. I love vultures. I've shared in these rambles before about how my beautiful bride brought to my attention there's nothing nasty about these creatures at all. They're very beautiful, and they do serve a purpose. But for the purposes of this story, they're going to be looked down on a bit. And it's important because many of you out there are hurting, you're in pain, and you need to hear this story, and you need to take this DNA test. You know, the eagle is known for its high-flying abilities, its majesticness. It represents freedom. It represents power and pride. Vultures are known for something completely different. Vultures are known as bottom feeders, scavengers. Eagles will eat, by the way, carcasses of dead animals, but predominantly they capture live prey and eat it. I'm going to get right to the point. Some of these stories were very horrific, you know, and we talk about estrangement sometimes on this channel quite often, especially going into the holidays. It's so ironic, you know, so many people, the holidays are tough for so many people because they're not with certain family members, or they've lost certain family members or relatives, and it's very difficult. For others, the holidays are very difficult because they are with certain family members, and there are people to whom they're related, who are in the picture, and it makes the holidays very difficult for an entirely different reason. I want to ask you a simple question, and you know who you are, and I'm not singling anybody out. This is many, many people watching this video. I'm going to ask you a very simple question. This is your DNA test, and you can only answer with one of two words. You can either answer with a yes, or you can answer with a no. If the guy across the road who is no kin to you, or if somebody from the office, somebody from work, let's say you don't work in an office, somebody at your job, male or female, who is of no relation to you, or if somebody you pass in the grocery store or on the street who is of no relation to you, talked to you, or treated you, or disrespected you the same way that someone in your life with whom you happen to share DNA with, not by choice, would you tolerate being in that person's presence for another second? Yes or no? Don't, but it's my this, fill in the blank with whatever the relation is. No, it's a simple DNA test. If that person did not share your DNA, if they weren't whatever space they fill in on the family tree, if they weren't on the family tree at all, and they treated you like that, would you continue to allow them to be a presence in your life? If you've answered no, well, congratulations, you just failed the DNA test. And then, of course, the question you're probably asking yourself by now is, why do I? Only you have that answer. You know, you taken the test, you failed, you sit back, you say, wow, here we are, we failed the DNA test, now what? I'm not giving you any advice past this point. I simply wanted you to take this test. A lot of these stories do make it through the filters. They are in the comment section because the graphic details aren't there, which again, and you're not to be, don't feel bad because of the graphic details you included. You were telling a story. I know it made you feel better by getting it out. But at the same time, those comments are not being made public because we're not here to set other people back who have been through similar experiences, who have come quite a way in their recovery. Because these things can. When you're dealing with trauma, just reliving it through hearing someone else's trauma can set you back in your recovery quite a bit. But did you answer yes or did you answer no? Did you pass the DNA test or did you fail the DNA test? And only you can answer the next question or the next series of questions that comes after that. Again, guys, this wasn't that uplifting, and I'm not trying to bring anybody down, but when people reach out to me and tell me the stories that I read that came through last night, we got a lot of folks in Australia. Welcome. We've got subscribers in all 50 states. We've got folks from all over the world. We welcome everybody. And that's it. I mean, this one's short and sweet and simple, but at times like this, sometimes it's just best to be blunt. So keep sending us your stories, your experience, your strength, your hope. We're going to keep putting the ornaments of inspiration up, which as of late, as you know, are the Christmas crayons or the, however you choose to however you choose to celebrate or not this time of year. We're doing it with crayons. We got plenty more left, so keep them coming. Thanks for being with us here for a few more minutes on Homesteading Off the Grid. I'm going to give you another beautiful parting shot of the homestead, and isn't it hard to believe that this time yesterday we were buried in snow? See you next time for more.